There is nothing more important than the decision that these jurors are going to make. Thomas Jefferson refused to sign off on the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution unless there was a provision in there that preserved the right to trial by jury. Ultimately, some jurors may look back after they've gone through the process of having to listen to and decide an important case, that it may be one of the most important decisions because they may be determining the future of another human being or a family.
This is Michael Barriston. He's a birth injury and medical malpractice attorney from Maryland. Today, we're going to actually talk a little bit about the jury system. I was Googling and I saw, I think it was like 12,700 people were searching about how to get out of jury duty. I thought this is actually a poignant subject. Being a juror is important, isn't it?
It is important. The trial by jury is the foundation of freedom and what separates us from many countries who really do not have much in the way of personal freedom. A juror, basically, they come from the community, they come and they sit in the courthouse. They are not elected, they're not appointed. Unlike the judges, they may decide a case, but they also sometimes have to run for office or for re-election.
The judges.
The judges, sure. And they also are subject to the appointment by politicians who have interests. Unlike the judges, these jurors, they come in, they perform this incredible function, deciding an important case or problem between parties that eventually goes to trial that hasn't been resolved.
It seems like if somebody's been hurt due to the negligence of, some doctor or hospital, that could be a really important role to play.
In some cases, particularly involving catastrophically injured people, there is nothing more important in their lives than the decision that these jurors are going to make. The United States may be the only country that allows for civil jury trials. How did this all come about? The Greeks were reported to have had trials where the entire community would sit and listen to the evidence. 500 people might listen to the evidence in a case and decide as a community. And here, obviously, 500 people can't hear every case that goes through to trial in the courthouse. Of this group of people that are sent to the courthouse, the ones that are selected are representative of the community. They are the conscience of the community.
So tell me a little bit about how we ended up with a jury system in this country.
Probably the most important case, many legal scholars refer to as Bushell's case, occurred in England as far back as over 340 years ago. A famous figure in history, William Penn, he was in England in 1670, and during that summer, he and a law student named William Mead began preaching on the street. And they were Quakers. England did not allow such activities. They were arrested and they were brought to trial for sedition. The way that the jury was selected, the English arrested a number of individuals right off the street, including shopkeepers and ordinary citizens.
Oh great, just arrest your jury.
Yes, they were arrested and they immediately were taken to the Old Bailey, the courthouse, to render a decision which the Crown was expecting to be a conviction. But they said they heard him preaching, but they didn't hear what he actually said. So the jury, they refused to convict. So as a consequence, the jury was sent and locked in the basement of the Old Bailey. And unfortunately, they refused to give in, and ultimately they were sent to Newgate Prison in London. There's a record of horrific treatment, including torture in that prison. One of the jurors actually died.
So let me ask you, again, going back to that person that put in a Google search of how to get out of jury duty, what
Sure.
would we say to them?
I think that by serving on a jury, you are performing at one of the most important functions that any individual can do on behalf of our own society.
It seems like trial by jury is the only thing that levels the playing field.
Let's look at it this way. What chance would you have if you were just left with your own resources as an individual and you have to take on a corporation, an insurance company, or the government? I think that the courtroom is one of the last places where an individual can stand up for his rights against the most powerful interests in this country. And without it, our freedom would be impaired.
We need juries.
We do.
We need trial lawyers.
I think we do.
Michael Barriston, thank you.
Thank you.